Hello and welcome to your astrological vibrations for Tuesday, October 13th, 2020 by Gaia Blooming. I am Mimi and our energy mantra for today is I nurture my inner peace. And today we have Mercury going retrograde. Woo! And technically Mercury is going retrograde later in the evening. It's like 6:05 p.m. Pacific time. However, the day's not going to just click 6:05 p.m. and suddenly everything's going to go haywire. Chances are you have been feeling this energy for a few days and here we go. It's just kind of like inch by inch dropping deeper into the abyss. I guess I still have the giggles with this energy. So intense. So this Mercury retrograde, it's so interesting to me because we have Mars retrograde right now, and Mars is a co-ruler of both Aries and Scorpio, where we have these retrograde energies going on. And so I almost feel like this Mercury retrograde is taking what we talked about for that Mars retrograde a step deeper. So when I was talking about Mars retrograde, I was like really checking yourself. What is your motivation? What's driving you? Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, a sign of very deep emotions, very deep feelings. Scorpio energy, or Mercury retrograde in Scorpio energy, makes us tune into what are the motivating energies, because you may have the motivation, I want to feel safe, and the motivating energy that is like pushing the I want to feel safe is fear. And so you want to be tuned in, keyed into that fear, because I don't feel like it is ever in our highest and best interest to be motivated by fear. Maybe sometimes it can be smart. There are times where we need to have a healthy or respect for the way of the world and fear. And yet, I really believe in being driven by love, driven by the soul, driven by soul, purpose, that energy, versus, oh my God, if I don't do this, then the world is going to come crashing down, so I have to do this. Because that energy, that's not clear. That's not a clear path. There's so many tangles or entanglements in that energy. So, Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, what is the motivating energy behind this energy that I'm motivated into? Really tuning in to those lower chakra, that root chakra, fear, survival stuff. Lack. I always say at the end of every scope, there is more than enough love in the world for every single one of us. And love in that phrase means food, it means love relationships, it means money, it means job, it means fulfillment of passions. We live in a very abundant universe, and yet, as part of our survival, we've had this interweaving with the energy of lack, of not enough, of I must go to war to secure this thing that I am passionate about. So again, checking in with the deeper motivating energies. Oh yeah, we're going there. just had a card fly across. Crazy. We are going here. We're also apparently going here. This is the card flying. There are a lot of deep emotions. There's deep grief around these energies, around the survival, around the fear, around why we even have these fears that are coming up to be addressed. So, awareness of all of this as we traverse these deep depths with Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. So, if you remember our two previous Mercury retrogrades, they were both in water signs. And a lot of people were feeling very emotional during that. So chances are we will be awash with emotions again. And that's part of the energy too, not fearing your emotions, but being like, I can be with this and it will pass. I do have the Be Here Now card, but I have it in reverse. It is a challenge to sit with the challenges, with challenging energies, with challenging emotions. This Mercury retrograde is beginning at 11 degrees, that master level degree. There will be mirrors, lots of mirrors with 11-degree energy. But again, it's like, can I sit and tend and care for myself? Can I nurture my inner peace? When I was sitting and looking at the astro, I kept hearing inner peace, inner peace. And I was like, there's a cartoon movie. I don't know what movie it was, but there was a movie where there was a character who kept sitting there doing inner peace. And I looked it up and it was Kung Fu Panda. I'm not sure which one, but inner peace. Keep coming back to that. And truly, when we are building foundations on fear, there is no true inner peace there. I don't know. Is there peace in fear? I don't believe there is. If you know how there is peace in fear, please let me know. Because in my heart, head, soul, as I tune into that, I do not feel it. But it doesn't mean that there's not something there. Anyway. Whew. So here we go, Mercury retrograde. Now, this retrograde will also span 2 signs. Mercury will shift back into Libra on the 27th of October. So for now, we're doing this deep traversing work, but come back to that Libra energy and it's like, okay, having visited the void, having visited the depths, having been to the abyss, now, inner peace? Yes. So, very, very deep, very intense energies that we're working with. And like I said, spurring this on will be some of the connections that we have this week. Speaking of that Mars energy, we actually have the Sun opposite Mars today. So Mars energy, even though it's retrograde, can still bring some fiery energies up. Libra representing the we, Aries representing the I. I may not feel heard. I may not feel like my passions are being met. I may feel frustrated. So be very aware of those energies coming up in you in and through this, and it may be reflected in relationships. But again, inner peace, how is the relationship with yourself? Inner peace, are you working, shifting, utilizing, showing up for what you need? You know, traversing these depths that are there to be worked and moved through. And let me just say, you don't need to do this alone. There are many skilled practitioners of many kinds that can walk through and hold your hands in and through these things, me included. So realize that it's not only an alone thing. It's just the coming to the realization that it's there kind of thing that really can move everything along. All right. What else do we have going on besides that Mars opposite Sun? That's also building a bit of a T-square with the Pluto energy, because we got Mars at 21, Sun hanging out at 21, and Pluto at 22 degrees. So T-squared, that Pluto energy, again, there's that control power thing. And it may even be that part of this, like, traversing the darkness, the willingness to go there, or even the Be Here Now card in reverse, is there can be shame in admitting that we're human. There can be shame in admitting the shadow. That's part of taking your power back, is releasing that shame and realizing as humans, we all have these pieces. It's also about taking back your personal authority in yourself and being like, I'm okay right here, how I am, where I am in my learning process. So just keep that in mind, that could be one of those, I don't know, rugs that things are buried under, that shame of admitting the humanness, which we all have, like I said. We also have the moon working with Venus. That's nice. The moon and Venus. Now again, that can bring up worth stuff. It can bring up hidden Venus energies coming up. And yet, if you allow yourself to feel the feels, allow yourself to be with yourself, self-care, Virgo yourself. like that. Virgo yourself. Virgo is of service to so many. How can you be of service to yourself in and through this energy? What do you need right now? What needs need to be met so that you can be present for these processes? How can you be here now? Root chakra, it really does, like in the lower chakras, your basic needs is being human. Are you meeting them? Moon running over Venus is like you need to show up physically for yourself. How can you, Virgo yourself? How can you be of service to yourself in and through this energy? Like I said, the last couple months of 2020 have a lot going on. The more you can be present with yourself, the more you can show up for yourself, the better. So I'm going to leave that here for today. You can book a reading with me. Email me, mimiclark@gmail.com. Besides that, the better it gets, the better it gets. There's more than enough love in the world for you. No lack. You have the power. And stay curious. Namaste.